Welcome back to our channel. We are Crypto Focus and we're live right here from the Johan Cruijff ArenA for the Dutch Blockchain Week Summit. 2 days, and I hope you're using the playlist function because this is interview number 27, number 28, and I hope you enjoyed every single one of our interviews throughout these 2 days. It's cliche, save the best for last. But once in a while, you just gotta fall in the cliche and say, hey, yes, we saved the best for last. I've been to many events from Hong Kong to Abu Dhabi to Paris to everywhere in the world, and every time, for every panel, there's a different host. Why? Because you can't leave it in the hand of one professional. But that's what Dutch Blockchain Week does. It leaves it in the hand of one person, one professional that steps in and makes sure that every single panel is led as best as could be, asking the questions that you and me want to know, bringing the most important information for our community. So you know what to do. Comment, like, share, make sure we keep doing these videos. So Jan, first of all, thank you. You must be exhausted.
Fried brain, but grateful mind.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I could not have said it better. I've been sitting here for 27 interviews. You've been on stage for a lot of panels, back and forth.
Yeah.
Let's start with the easiest question. How do you prepare to host so many different topics on so many different panels at so many different levels?
It takes time. It took me quite some time actually to prepare the panels. But you know, the thing is, when you prepare these panels, you get more excited about the conversations that will actually take place because you're going to read about the speakers. You're going to think about the topics that you would like to discuss with them. So in the end, it's actually giving a lot of energy. So how I usually prepare when with the Dutch Blockchain Week main summit, we always look what are the key themes that we would like to explore at our event. After that, we actually look what are the speakers that could be very interested to share their insights on these themes, and then we start inviting them. And we're always very excited that a lot of them are actually accepting the invitation, coming in by bike from Amsterdam, but also flying in from counties like El Salvador, flying 30 hours to make it happen coming here. Yeah.
That's very good. You know something? This is going to feel like an examination, but it's not. But it's just for those who couldn't actually make it to the event. If we talk about the market, what was your one takeaway from the 2 days when it comes to the current market situation?
It's maturity. If you look at like horizontal at most of the dialogues that have been taking place, everybody's talking about the rapid institutional adoption. All these big players that are now entering the scene. Everybody's talking about also the most traditional organizations like the bigger banks that are now stepping in, and they step in big. You know, they step
Yes.
in with stablecoin developments and so forth. Last item is, of course, that everybody did agree that we are in some kind of chilling mode, some kind of bear market right now. But with all the developments that are now taking place, all what I just mentioned, all the big players that are stepping in, but on the other side also the interest that is now, you know, the regained interest from the retail market, all the positive things that are happening now on a geopolitical scale. Everybody, and there's no financial advice,
Yeah.
had a lot of positive outlooks for the upcoming months to come.
That's wonderful. Now, from another different topic, on the stablecoins topic, what was the narrative that was formed on the stage at Dutch Blockchain Week?
Now, the interesting thing is, of course, that we know stablecoins already for quite a long time. So it's interesting to see where is this interest coming from. And everybody agreed it was both the MiCA and, of course, Tether printing a lot of profit. You know, so that's of course interesting to see where it is coming from. What I think is very interesting is more the global view. Everybody's looking at players and banks and that kind of stuff. But we zoomed out a little bit, and it's very interesting to see actually what's happening on a geopolitical scale, right? We see the US that is now trying to make sure that they keep all this AI innovation within their premises.
Yeah.
We see the same when it comes to stablecoin development. We all know 98% of all the volume in stablecoins is denominated in dollars, and we see this geopolitical, almost earthquake. We see this huge like shift also from power, right? Before it belonged also to the European Union with its euro, but now again, when it comes to digital money, to like stablecoins, it shifts again also to the US. So that was also, I think, the biggest narrative that people were actually focusing on. They were like, "Wow, is nobody seeing it actually? That the US is also, after they, of
Yeah.
course, gave us the credit cards and all these kind of financial products like PayPal, etc., they are now also becoming like the most powerful owner of all these companies actually within their premises. So that was, I think, the most interesting narrative what I heard from stablecoins.
Wonderful. Now, from the other perspective, you guys managed to get Bybit, OKX, Bitfavo with boots in a actual venue.
Yeah.
From your perspective, from leading panels on the stage, at what level are these exchanges right now with July 1st coming up?
Now, what you see, I think with the Dutch Blockchain Week, we really focused on making sure that not just the speakers, but also the partners that are present here at our event are complying with all the rules and regulations. And what I see at the exchanges that you just mentioned, all the exchanges being present here, they didn't wait. They took a proactive stance to actually make sure they obtained the license. And they proudly also shared this on the main stage that they did obtain the license. I think in the last panel, it was very interesting to see that actually this 1st of July was mentioned clearly, where they said like, yeah, but everybody's focusing on the 1st of July, but MiCA is already here for 18 months, right? So most players, they are already compliant. They are already working hand in hand with the regulators. So yeah, I heard mostly from most speakers back that they just think it's a non-event.
Very good. Now, from the other perspective, for those who didn't manage to get compliance, for those who didn't manage to actually get regulated, 1st of July is going to mean either I consolidate or I merge or I go out of business.
Yeah.
From your perspective, with your years of experience in the market, how do you think this is going to affect the market?
Now, we've been hearing quite some responses from the industry, especially in the Netherlands. And the interesting thing for now, we haven't heard any, let's say, responses from people that are actually scared that they are not able to operate anymore. What I see and what I also hear back, not officially from the regulator, but it is an official deadline. But they do still work closely with all these actors that didn't have obtained a license. So I'm not sure if it will be like a deadline where some players will literally go black. So for now, I'm still assured that it is a deadline that you have to set as a regulator, but they keep on doing the conversations with these players and will find a solution for those who are really also willing to take all the steps to comply with the MiCA.
Very good. From you on the stage, did you feel there was more of a geopolitical macro influence on the market, or do you feel that there was more a liquidity and RWAs, tokenization, technology effect on the market? How does it feel being on stage, listening to people talk? What has more relevance?
Yeah, that's interesting. It's a very good question because I try as a moderator, of course, sometimes to steer the dialogue and to check like what is grinding their gears, right, of the speakers and what are they focusing on. And indeed, I would say they will be focused more on, for example, the war in Iran, the ripple effects it has on the global economy. But actually, none of the speakers mentioned it. So in the end, everybody's talking about the next big step when it comes to the institutional players entering the scene, working on the adoption using stablecoins. But as you already mentioned, the RWA, real world assets, actually, all these assets that are now being put on the chain. So it's interesting. I actually, although we say, as I already mentioned, we are in a bear market, I only hear positivity. I only hear positivity about maturing markets and all the effects that are coming out of that.
Very good. As a moderator, what is the one sentence or the one quote what that stuck with you as you were walking out the last panel? You told everybody, "Thank you for coming." What did you leave with?
Now, what I appreciate is that what we see is we are too often just focused on prices. And I think what we always miss, what we often miss, and what I see back also with all kinds of clients for my companies, they're focusing too much on results instead of impact. And that's what I also appreciated. We had quite some interesting speakers in the last 2 days that actually shared the profound impact the technology, blockchain, digital assets have on human beings. It's not just about speculation. It's not about just trading. No, it has a severe impact on human beings, on people in development countries, on people that now we had, for example, of course, the head of the El Salvador digital asset project. So interesting to learn from them. Where are they coming from? You know, what kind of situation the country was before actually President Bukele came into place, started this strategy. But we also had, for example, a very interesting dialogue about the tornado cash case. And then you hear back about, the severe impact that these payments have on people who cannot trust their governments. And those impact stories, they matter. And we often forget these stories. For me, these are actually the most incredible stories that I love to hear when it comes to why I am actually in the industry, what gives me the energy to work in industry every day. Yeah.
Very good. Now, you have a few more days, 2 more days of the actual week,
Yeah.
and then you start preparing for next year. Obviously, like everybody does.
Yeah.
The narrative of agentic AI and quantum and actual the AI tokens in the market are gonna keep escalating.
Yeah.
Do you expect them to be mature by 2027 Dutch Blockchain Week, that it's going to dominate the conversation? Or do you say no, we still are gonna be talking about Bitcoin and we're still gonna be talking about Trump affecting the price, and there's war here, and then the price drops, and we're talking about the bottom and sideways? Where do you think we're going with the next year and the actual narrative that you are going to have to moderate?
Now, I mean, I've been in the industry since 2013, and we always talk about prices. We talk about a bear or a bull market, so
Yeah.
that will always be a discussion. And the challenge is that next year, Trump will still be there. He will definitely have an effect on the market, so we'll be talking about the effects. But if you look at the more thematic discussions, talking about AI agents, machine to machine payments, the impact of quantum technology, what I learned from the experts that we invited on the stage, we just got started, right? So the protocols are being developed. The first solutions are there to actually prevent the quantum threat to have an impact on the sector. We just got started with all these items. So I think definitely next year we will have much more dialogue about these topics. And last but not least, what I think is always exciting in this sector, I think the most exciting things that will take place next year, we don't know yet. You know, I'm always surprised by all the developments, the technological advancements, the adoption stories. So we don't know. So we already got started with the edition next year, scheduling the date and location. But programming wise, we'll probably start somewhere in December, because otherwise the topics could already be outdated.
So leads by the time we actually do the show.
100%.
Good point. You, as one of the creators, as one of the founders when it comes to Dutch Blockchain Week, the evolution to Johan Cruijff ArenA. What was your feeling walking here yesterday as you see people start walking in? What was the feeling for you?
I was standing actually in front of the stadium, and we started building up at Tuesday. And I reminded myself when I was a little kid, I came here as a little boy in my white red shirt to watch soccer matches of Ajax. And I was walking in, and all the time I'm like, wow, like we're coming from a cleaning shop where we would literally record sessions, like this, but we didn't have all these fancy equipment. We had like a €300 for a nice ball. We didn't have money for a microphone. And now, fast forward 8 years, we are here, the Amsterdam Arena, the most iconic arena in the Netherlands. Everybody was excited. I saw like the entire team, although they were tired, they were, lots of things happening backstage. Everybody was walking proud. They were walking here so excited that we could actually host the event here. So it gave so much good energy. Proud. And the thing is, and that's the important thing, it has always to do with the 1.1 plus 1 is free. We do this together with a big team. We do this together with the partners, media partners, and so forth. I'm so proud also that we keep on growing. More partners are entering in. So that's I'm also really excited that this thing, it keeps on growing. More people say like, hey, let's work with you next year. Some really top level speakers that would love to join us next year. So I can't wait already to start the organization for next year.
As you can see on his face, it was a huge success. Simply put, we cannot overstate it. It was a huge success. Dutch Blockchain Week Summit 24, 25, right here. We sat down with CEOs, with general managers, builders, developers, and there was one single thread. Everybody was impressed. Everybody was impressed with the warmth. Everybody was impressed with the community. And everybody said the same thing. The level of professionalism blew their minds.
Oh.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, makes me feel blossoming. I mean, that's great. That's what we try to achieve here. The level of professionalism. We didn't look at, of course, we have budgets, but we were not here to make a profit. We're really here to give everybody like a cool event. Make sure that if you zoom out, the reason why we're organizing this is to not just get people up to speed about the developments, but really connect everybody, facilitate these unexpected crossovers. Every year again, we are bombarded with responses from people that unexpectedly met and started cool projects, started a company together, all that kind of stuff. That's the coolest thing that we could actually wish for. So walking around, people having a smile on their face, you see all these new connections being made. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Dutch Blockchain Week is here to connect people. And that's what we did. We connected with a lot of people. You connected with a lot of people. The information that you have received in the last 2 days is going to help you navigate the market until next year, Dutch Blockchain Week again. You've already secured the dates, I heard.
We did.
The location is ready. So make sure to keep following our channel. We will get these updates for you as soon as possible. I'm Emmanuel for Crypto Focus. That is Jan for Dutch Blockchain Week. And we're live at the Johan Cruijff ArenA. See you all soon.